very good evening, namaste, and welcome to a very special edition of Master Strokes with Arjun. And today is indeed very, very special to all of us here at IICA because for 15 years, we have absolutely believed in one single thing, and that is the true success of an institute is that of its students. So, folks, we're dedicating this very special episode to our very own alumni. And for that celebration, we've decided to invite some of our special guests. So, please join me to welcome three of our lovely alumni who are here with us today. We have Ishaan, who's here with us from Delhi, Yashasvi, who's based in Dubai but with us in Delhi as well, and Ashima, who's with us live from Amritsar. Amritsar, I know.
Yes.
How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Good?
Very well.
Very well. Lovely. Good. You know, to begin with, I want to say that neither of you have changed. That's really, really good to know. And that's cue for saying that, so you haven't changed also.
That goes without saying. I think, yeah, it's been what 8 years for me. Like, yeah, I've been, I was in the 2012 batch, so it's been 8 years, and I think, yeah, it goes without saying that you've not changed.
That's very good. I'm glad that we're starting on a very, very honest note. That's the importance of it. And so really happy to have three of you with us. You represent an entire batch of alumni, everything that we believe in, you're all of that. So thank you so much. Really, really happy to have you all with us. Look, guys, so the idea of having you here is because, you know, we really have never had a chance to ask you some really, really important questions. And we thought, what better to do than to do it online and keep it out in the open, right? So here's how it's going to work. Very simple, super easy questions, all related to cooking and baking and all of that, right? So we're going to ask you some simple questions and we're going to go around the room and ask you those questions. Ashima, so we're going to start with you first. All right.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to start with you and I want you to tell us, you know, for you, you started your journey from Amritsar to a mega city. Back in 2011 and 12, when you came to Delhi, what was the biggest challenge or biggest change that you faced when you moved over here?
I really can't pinpoint one change. It was a whole lot of change. Everything changed on every level because I have always been. I was coming from a small town. I've been a shy, reserved person by nature. So coming to Delhi was like stepping into a world of opportunities, experiences. So I really can't pinpoint one change. I think a lot of things changed. Being at home, you just spoon fed everything, and there I had to do things on my own. And then I was IICA being a very big part of it. I didn't opt for a regular college. I opted for a very a very professional, a very different kind of a field. So that was a big change in itself. And as they say, nothing succeeds like success. I think that was a very small first success that I achieved, and I would really like to pinpoint that changed everything for me. I wouldn't have been the same person I am today if I would have stayed back or if I would have not chosen to move out. So yeah, moving to Delhi was a big part of my the whole being that I am today.
That's true. That's true. And I think a lot of our current students and possibly the future chefs of India can relate to that because you see, as you probably are aware, since you were with us in 2011 and 12, and not much has changed since then either. We still get a lot of students asking us from different parts of the country. And Yashasvi, you're also from out of Delhi. You were also not originally from Delhi as well, weren't you? So the fact of the massive change that you go through from a town to a bigger city or a smaller city to a bigger city must be overwhelming. Yashasvi, what would you like to share in context to that? What are your views?
It was definitely challenging and life-changing for me. I have been visiting Delhi quite often since I was a child because my nanny's house is in Faridabad. But coming here and starting a new journey for myself after school was absolutely changing and different for me. I remember how I used to think about little things and how I became independent now. It was a whole journey for me, step by step, that I've learned. And I'm grateful to my mother, especially, for bringing that change up for me. So I'm really happy to be where I am today.
That's wonderful. And Ishaan, I think both of us are from Delhi, so we have nothing to add. We love Delhi. Delhi is a beautiful city, so friendly, so calm. Barely any cars on the road, so we love it for that reason. So it brings a lot of solitude to our lives. uh, your Ishaan audio, please. Can you check that for us? That's all right, folks. So bear with us because technology is only a friend till a point. All right, while we're waiting for Ishaan to come back, all right, so while we're waiting for Ishaan to come back, Yashasvi, why don't we take the next question to you? What was the first reaction? I mean, we already discussed that you came from outside Delhi, but an entire family was supportive about it. What was the first reaction that you got when your family heard that, you know, you want to become a chef, you want to pursue this profession? What was their reaction like? Be very candid though.
Of course.
It's all right. They're only listening, so you can only tell the truth.
I'll always say the truth. For many of us who don't know, I was actually a commerce student and I wanted to pursue international business. That was a choice for myself after school. But my mother has really been very supportive. I remember Mama and I, we always used to watch Fabulous Cakes on TLC and wonder how cakes can be so beautiful all the time. So it was very surprising at first, but it was actually my mama who decided this career option for me. She never forced me. She told me I can give it a shot, I can try and see where it stands for me. And here I am. So I'm really happy that I let her choose this for me because, especially, I believe I'm not talking about a lot of people here, but in our generation, we do not let our parents decide for ourselves. And that's all right because we as individuals want to do something that we really want to do in our life. So as I say that I wanted to do international business. So maybe I wanted to do international business. But then my mother could see that what was better for me. So I'm glad that I heard her out and I actually opted for pastry and bakery.
Oh, God bless Mama. Thank you, Mama. You are a star, and thank you so much for encouraging Yashasvi to join this profession. It would have been a great loss for the industry. Ashima, do you have anything to add? What was the reaction back home when your parents found out, when you told them that
I think
I want to be a chef?
yeah, I think Yashasvi's and my own story are very similar. I was also a commerce student, and I remember telling my dad that I wasn't very much into, accounts and numbers. I don't know, they just didn't work for me. So I told him that I don't want to go into a regular course. I want to do something very different. And baking had always been a part of my life because I'm coming from a very typical Punjabi family. It's all about food all the time, and especially here in Amritsar. And I used to see my mom, my grandma cooking, hosting dinners, and all the appreciation and how everybody would enjoy their food so much, and that just inspired me so much that I want to get all this inspiration, like all this, everybody saying that, oh my God, this is so nice, like such lovely food. I want to hear that for myself, and that's actually what drove me into this line actually. And obviously my parents were very very supportive, especially my dad. I'm sure Arjun, you remember, he accompanied me the first day, when I was there at IICA. And for him, like making me move to Delhi was a big challenge for him because he knows me by nature. I was a very shy person, but both of us just took it as a challenge. And best part was they were very supportive. My whole family, my basically my dad pushed me into this, and here I am today.
Lovely, lovely. Well, more strength to your parents, and yes, thank you so much for both of them for being so supportive. I honestly, I was hoping, not hoping, but I was hoping against hope that one of you would say, "No, I had a lot of drama. I had to fight. I had to do this." Because I always get one student or the other who says, I've had to drag my parents to come and listen to what you have to say because I just want to do this." But it's so encouraging and so blissful to hear that parents are so supportive. That is, in fact, a very, very good thing to hear. Ishaan, how about you? Are you with us
Yeah.
now? Oh,
Yeah. Am I audible now?
crystal clear. It's almost like we're in the
Finally.
same city as
Finally.
well.
Yeah.
So how about you? So you did hear what our question was, right? You heard that it was
Right. Yeah.
about the first reaction. So
Yeah.
you come from a business family. You come from a family that already was in this trade. So
That's
was
right.
it similar for you? Was it like, beta chal tu kar, I'm going to be behind you and life's going to be all that we plan it to be?
So my story is obviously slightly different than theirs. I started working with my father when I was 14, and
Oh.
I've since then I just decided that this is the field I'm going to take. I was confused earlier whether I should go into the kitchen or manage restaurants or run catering companies, whatever it was. But I was sure that this is going to be the field that I'm going to be working in for life. So my father is a chartered accountant turned hotelier. So I tried to do the same, and he also supported me on that. But I studied for an entire year, and I scored 18 on 100 in the first examination.
Beautiful.
So,
That's really nice.
so after that, he stopped guiding me, and he's like, "Do whatever you want to do." so that's when I took up a hospitality management course from Le Roche, and I came to IICA after Le Roche. So my idea basically was that the hospitality course I did was more on the lines of management, more on learning more about the hotels, room division, sales, marketing. So I felt because I want to be in this business, learning more in depth about the food production part, you need to be in the kitchen for a longer period of time. So that was my idea of getting into IICA. And obviously, if I'm talking about it today, it has definitely worked for me, and that's why I am sharing, and I'm proud of being part of this institute. Like I was a part in 2012. I did this course.
Yes, you
So
graduated.
yeah,
You have a very vivid memory of it also. It was
uh,
like a walk in the park for you. No more 18 out of hundreds for you then.
yeah, more in my space, definitely.
All right, lovely. So coming back to the question, Ishaan, that I did have for you
Yeah,
right before we lost you to audio.
yeah,
As I mentioned already, that your business, your family was in the business of food before you joined the institute, so it was already
yeah,
there, established. It was already established.
yeah.
In your opinion, what is the most important learning that you've taken away from the institute and rather used in your business space of running a food business?
Arjun, I have two important learnings which I got from the institute. One is definitely learning more the technical aspect of food production, learning the mother sauces, knowing more about food in detail. Different kind of knives and every detail which you can't learn if you're not practically inside a kitchen and you're cooking. And second is the biggest learning I had was the discipline I took from the institute, the grooming I had to follow. I remember you pointing fingers at me and telling me, go and uh, come in proper uniform. You won't let me enter in the kitchen. So yeah, that definitely helped me. And another thing I'd like to share is how we used to work the entire day, learn so many recipes, and then at the end of the day, when everybody was so tired, we cleaned the entire kitchen and every utensil before leaving. So that discipline is what I carry today as well, and that's what that's the best thing I have remembered. Even when you're down and out, you need to get the job done. So yeah, that was my biggest learning, I would say.
Good, good,
Yeah,
good. So,
yeah.
Ashima, Ishaan has already said a lot of really, really valid things, except for one lie that I was very strict. So, would you agree with that, or would you strongly disagree? Strongly
No, of
disagree.
course
That's the
I
answer
would.
you want to
No,
say.
no, no. Of course I would agree to that. You were like, yeah, on top of us all the time.
That's not the right answer. Wrong student I asked. All right, but no, but other than that, what takeaways did you take away from the institute? I mean, you've had a nice career since then, and what do you think has been the most brilliant takeaway that you've had to carry away from the institute that you still relish?
Of course, the discipline part, like Ishaan said, that was a big, takeaway. The experience, like working in a kitchen, working in a commercial kitchen, coming from a home kitchen and working in a commercial kitchen, that's a big change, and you can't just, step into it. You have to gradually, become used to it. So, and plus, one thing I would really like to point out about IICA was the the faculty, the whole family, like it felt like family actually. Everybody, your family, Mr. Datta, even Mrs. Datta, like she used to, I remember she used to hold these counseling sessions with us. That was a great help. So, the kind of involvement the family had, and even the faculty, that left a big mark on me, because I still remember how it was, going to the Datta farm for that activity. I still remember all that, and I think that was learning, and that was gaining experience, as well as
Ashima, are you with us?
city, new to
There you are.
Delhi,
Sorry.
so that played a very big role.
That's lovely. Good. All right, Yashasvi, your views. Just add whatever you said. Add that I was very nice and very calm also.
You were definitely very nice.
Thank
Calm
you.
at
I
times.
should have asked this
Calm at
question
times.
first.
Sometimes. She said sometimes.
Calm at times, yes. But as Ishaan and Ashima said, discipline, first of all, we can never forget that. But there are actually two things that has kept me strong since then till now. One is that you should never forget your basics. Even when you get hold of the machines, you should never forget to whip the cream with a hand whisk. That was very important. I remember Chef Ali always telling me and teaching me on this thing that no, you have to whip the cream with a whisk. You have to knead the dough with your hands, not with the machine.
Yes.
Yeah, though there were machines present there at the institute, but it was always hands-on, and I'm really grateful for that, because now when we have actually evolved into this profession and this industry, there have been times when we are actually in a hurry and we do not have the time to use a machine. So I know I can whip the cream with a hand whisk very fast. So I'm really strong on that. So I'll always be grateful. Second is to never give up on anything. I've actually had a lot of hardships during my course and my training period as well. No matter any of my jobs till now, it will always be there, the pros and cons. But I've always kept this thing in my mind that I will never give up. At IIC, I never gave up on anything. During my training days, I never gave up. I am glad that I finished it. So it will always be this thing that you should never give up on anything you really want in your life.
Lovely. Thank you so much for all three of you for sharing those amazing, partially honest. The part about me was probably the only unhonest thing, but everything else was beautiful. Thank you so much. All right, so Ashima, we're going to come back to you with our next question. So obviously, all of us that know you, have known you, you've had some great stints throughout your career. And one of the biggest ones, of course, was in 2016, when you made all of us proud on MasterChef, on television. Then, of course, you went on to do something for Travel XP. So my question is, with your experience on MasterChef and then later on Travel XP with your show, Egg Star Ingredient, what was that one advice that you wish you had gotten? I mean, every third, every fourth student that comes through those doors at IICA or any school for that matter, dreams of getting into television, right? One day or the other. His hope or her dream is to one day be on show. You did that. So tell us one advice that you wish you had gotten, and that the one that you'd like to pass on to the next generation of people who want to become on television.
See, being a TV chef and being a chef, like it's similar, and it is not that similar too. So you can be a master chef, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to you have to be very. One thing that I would like to say is you have to be very open, very pleasant, very accommodating to whatever is coming your way, because you're going to face all kind of things that you've never faced before. So you have to learn from everything and just be open to there are going to be a lot of people around you when you're especially in a TV setup. When I was in MasterChef, it was a whole new ball game. Like, I had never ever experienced anything that like that before, and it was really difficult for me at first to cope up. So later I realized that only talking to people, being pleasant, being accommodated, don't hold your the whatever you've learned, just keep that inside. But be open to learning more, because there's so much you can grasp from people by just talking to them. I was really shy at first, and I was not very talkative. If you've seen the season initially, I'm not even that much on the camera, because I never used to talk that much. And I remember one day, one of the chefs, Chef Kunal, I guess, he came up to me, and he's like, I was like you, Ashima, I can relate to you. Like, he gave me a very personal pep talk that, just be more, enjoy this, whatever you're getting, be more open, be more, more expressive, you can say. So actually, it's very different. The play of words is very important when you're in front of the camera, rather than what you're doing, what you're making, because people are not going to taste or see, be able to eat what you're making. So you have to be more expressive with your words. You have to tell them very expressively what you're doing right now, especially about food. When it comes to food, one thing I learned was that the more I talked about the food, the more people would connect to me, because I'm on camera and nobody is really, eating what I'm doing. They are basically listening to me. So I had to share more of my personal experiences with the particular dish or a particular ingredient. And I remember when I was shooting for Travel XP, so first few episodes were not that great, because obviously it was a new thing for me. But then I just realized this fact that rather than worrying about what I'm cooking, I should be more concerned about talking about what I'm doing. And then small briefing that we used to do. So rather than the director giving me things to say, I used to tell them that I want to share this. I want to share this experience. I want to share this fact about this food, about this dish, about this ingredient. I think that really is important. That learn more, read about stuff, read about what's happening around the world, go back to your basics, try to incorporate your childhood memories about dishes or about ingredients. I think, yeah, that's what is that works when you are in such kind of a setup where you have to connect with an audience through a camera. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the way we're doing now. And like you, Ashima, I'm also very, 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 very camera shy. So that's why I'm gonna take the next question over to Yashasvi. Yashasvi, the question that I have for you is that you trained at the Oberoi's, a five-star hotel. Then you went to work for Junoon, which is not to mention a Michelin branded restaurant in New York with its outlet in Dubai where you were. And now then, of course, you're today at the W in Dubai. So tell me something, getting selection, a lot of our students fret over this every day, every night, that, it is so tough to get selected, but you've done it time and again. So what was that one process or one tip that you would always keep up your sleeve all the time, saying that this is what's going to work for me? This is how I'm going to crack this interview. Because today's time could not have been more testing or pressing for the new entrants in this industry. So getting selected is going to be twice as hard, if not as hard as before. So what advice would you have for them?
Every interview that I've given in my life, now it has been a lot, of course, but every interview since the Oberoi's has been very challenging. Like anybody else, I always wanted the best for myself, and nobody else but you know about it, Arjun sir, how much I wanted to get into Oberoi's, how much I wanted to go to Junoon. I had that urge in myself. I always wanted to do the best for myself, no matter how hard it was. just wanted to do it. One thing that has always driven me and one thing that I've always kept in my mind is just to be myself, be honest, be calm, and be true to my words. I never tried to be. I'm not pointing out anybody here, but it's just for me that I've never tried to be somebody else because I wanted something in my life, just to be on the top. I've always been true to my words. I've always been honest in whatever I've said, be it my interviews, no matter how much I knew about food, no matter how much I knew about certain aspects of life. I know that I'll always pass every obstacle by being honest and by showing that urge in myself that I really want it. I know that I want it. People around me who love me know that I want it. But the person who's going to choose me for their company should also know that I want it. So that is very important to keep in mind. To be honest and be yourself.
Be honest and be yourself. Words to live by. Honestly, I think that's beautiful. Very well said, Yashasvi. All right. So, Ishaan, coming to you,
Yep.
you entered the industry right after graduating from La Roche. Then you came to IICA, and then, of course, you had a tremendous journey since then. Every student, every second student, as I mentioned to Ashima, that if it's not television, then it's a dream a dream of something, opening something of their own. So that's as common as the other. Tell me something. In your opinion, what is the biggest challenge? You've been there firsthand. So what is the biggest challenge that new entrants or entrepreneurs in this industry face? What is the challenge that hasn't changed in these 8 years that you've been there? So
Yeah, so during the 2012 time when I was actually at IICA, that's when Hoskas Village really came up as a restaurant hub. So when we were studying there, I saw about 50, almost 50 restaurants opening around me, and I saw a lot of restaurants. That's how I also got into I've got this. I had a dream, to build my own restaurant chain, but I succeeded to an extent. But again, the biggest challenge I see right now here is, again, I have two things to say. One is definitely the rentals here they're just crazy. And that's a difficult thing to deal with as for a new entrepreneur to take up a place on rent. And the second part, definitely, I would say, is the licensing. So as an entrepreneur, these are the two things you have to really keep in mind before you actually get into a new venture.
But say for a moment that we overcome those, because those are just initial steps.
Yeah.
You choose the right business model, whether it be a cloud kitchen or a dark kitchen, call it what you may, or whether it's a commissary kitchen serving a set of restaurants. That's
Right.
say cross that hurdle, right? Say
Right.
you're in that business. Once you're in it, once your hands are ankle elbow deep, what problems do you face post that? Tell us an ongoing challenge that people keep striving to overcome.
Honestly, I don't see any challenges. There are challenges, but I look at them as more as opportunities. There's a lot to explore in the food space. I would definitely not feel that there are challenges. I personally always struggled with having like 16 to 18 hours of a work day. That's how the industry can be, and we don't know about that until we get onto the field. That you need to be working at their days where you're working 16 or 18 hours a day and consecutively through a lot of days. So that's something I struggled with a bit. But otherwise, I feel there are more opportunities than challenges, honestly.
Very well said. Ashima, anything you want to add to that? You've had some entrepreneurial stints. Is it challenging, or is it all opportunities, no challenges, none at all? But it is a beautiful perspective. I have to compliment you.
Yeah, it is a beautiful perspective to see it that way. But of course, it's a very, very challenging, because for me, being a chef, what was more challenging, what is more challenging is evolving all the time, coming up with pastry is evolving every day. So coming up with something new, catering to a very, very well educated or very, very well, the audience, the customers that I have these days, everybody knows everything. So, they are telling me.
ऐसे होता है, यही मिलेगा.
Exactly. They are telling me that, we want this particular ingredient in this thing, and, this particular combination of thing. So yeah, running my own thing, and also taking this, that I have to come up with new things all the time. I have to change my menu every once in a month. So I think that's what I. And again, it's a challenge as well. If you see it with Ishan's point of view, it's an opportunity to for me to explore all that I can do. So yeah, that's one thing I would like to add, that it's the big challenge is dealing with customers nowadays.
Yeah, so I'd like to add to that.
Go on.
Why I said there are more opportunities, because people are really well traveled now, and everybody, there's no European, Asian, and Indian cuisine. Like, I have had people who have come to me and asked for Peruvian as well. They've been to Zuma or other these famous restaurants in Dubai and other places, and they've asked for these different cuisines. So again, it's obviously a challenge for us, but then how amazing is it for us to learn new cuisines and new things and present it to people? People are actually
Yeah.
asking for something new, and they don't want to stick to that butter chicken and mutton curry. That's an amazing thing. That's what I like about this industry.
Absolutely. Yashasvi, you've been working, right from the beginning. So entrants, when they enter the industry, what challenges from an employee point of view, as a person who works in the industry, what challenges do you think students first face there?
If I start from my training days, because yes, that was the first phase since I actually, start working in the industry. That was my first step. I never thought, being honest, it is going to be that difficult. I did not know how to bake a cake since I started my diploma in IICA. First day, I was shocked. It was really hard. I was really, really scared and nervous. But then slowly and gradually, I started loving my work. I started realizing that what this industry requires, I can do that. I know it is going to be tough. It is going to be new, very challenging. A lot of opportunities are going to come. I am going to vary on my strengths and weaknesses, but this is the time when I build my career. So overall, it was tough. Yes, it was very tough. Working for 18 hours sometimes. I didn't know that I had that much of energy in myself. So anybody who is going to start their training days, it is definitely not going to be easy. You have to do it if you have to do it. And then when I got my first job in Junoon, I remember my first day, how happy I was to see a kitchen. Of course, you've been to Junoon, Dubai. It was an open kitchen, and it was so lovely for me to be there. My first job. I was 19 years old, all shine in my eyes and happiness on my face. But yes, slowly and gradually, I realized my responsibilities. I had to learn a lot of things. People and chefs with me have been really accommodating all this while. So you have to gradually, adapt yourself in a certain environment. Junoon was different because it was modern Indian. So with time, I had to adapt myself and learn their skills, learn the type of work they required. Then Biche Mare was Italian, and then it required a different thing from me. It required different pressure on me, that I had to start learning about Italian desserts, be it southern, northern, whatever it was. So I had to start learning about Italian cuisine, Italian desserts, how they talk, how they speak, what they like, what they don't like. And then now when I started working in W, it's a hotel. I never wanted to work in a hotel. I was also always a restaurant person. But then I knew that if I want to be a better chef, I have to see all the aspects. I have to grow over a period of time, be it in restaurants, be it in hotels, be it in a patisserie, anywhere it is. So now when I'm working in W, yes, it has been a challenge, but it has been more of an opportunity for me. And I'm really grateful to God that I chose this for myself. I know it was hard. I know it is still hard, but I have come up with different challenges. For example, like taking part in a competition where I never thought I would. And then, of course, working for a lot of hours, started working in bakery, tried to learn new things, chocolate sculptures, beet sugar, a lot of aspects. So I'm really grateful for that. But one thing everybody, I think, should keep in mind is that challenges are going to come. They're never going to stop, be it obstacles as well. But all you have to do is cross them with a peace of mind and never give up. one thing that I always stand by and I always will for all of my life is that I'm not going to give up on anything, be it anything in my life. And yes, of course, you have to adapt yourself.
Beautiful. More strength to all three of you. Beautiful. All right. So, Ashima, we're going to come back to you with our few last questions that we have. Now, this is a slightly philosophical one, so keep it. So just reflect over it. In your opinion, how important is failure for achieving success?
Um, okay. I would say failure is the biggest teacher. Like for me, failure is, rather than seeing it as an important failure being important for success, it's more like a part of success because it's like a circle. You fail, you succeed, you fail again, you succeed again because you have to keep on, learning from your failure. Uh, I've had this experience myself because when I was in MasterChef, initially I was very scared, very I couldn't really make anything. I was a trained, like I had been I had trained in restaurants and I had worked in hotels, but there being in front of the cameras, I really couldn't cook. And first initial few the rounds were very bad for me. But then I adapted to the whole thing. I learned from my mistakes, and I was on top of my game then. I was coming in the top 3 contestants in every challenge. Then I had my high point when we were in Australia, and I got my chef coat. I You wouldn't believe I cooked. I visualized. With the limited ingredients we had, I actually concocted and cooked and presented a dish in 45 minutes. That too, a barbecue dish in open Australian winds. It was a big challenge, but I don't know how I did it. I just did it. So I learned from the initial few failures that I had, and that's how I succeeded. And then, of course, everybody knows the finale happened, and one step, and I couldn't get the title. That was again, if you look at it that way, it was a little bit of a failure for me. But then the success, then I had my own success stories. I worked with a Michelin star chef. I worked with Chef Atul Kochar. I cooked with him in Dubai. I cooked at his restaurants in Bombay. So I would say don't look down upon failure. Just learn from it because it is very important for being successful. You cannot success until and unless you fail at something, because you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it better. The next time. So yeah.
Well, well, for the record, all of you are MasterChef star eyes. So congratulations and more strength to you, Ashima, as well. The way I see it is failure is only comes to those who've ever tried something new. If you haven't failed means you haven't tried anything new at all. You've only repeated what you've known so far. So if at all, if I'm in a position to give you advice, my advice is continue trying something new every day. And if you fail, that means you were actually pushing the envelope further. Otherwise, you were staying within your comfort zone. All right. With that, Yashasvi, I want to come back to you for a second because there is this massive stigma that I hope is as less is true as it ever was, that this industry is a male-dominant industry. It's a male-dominant industry, and women have it hard. But I strongly believe that's. I have a very different opinion about it. But why don't you share your views about this particular stigma? Because as you know, the institute and the industry today welcomes millions and millions of women throughout the world, and I hope that's only growing every day. So your views on that, please.
I absolutely agree to that. But yes, there are still a certain set of people who believe that this industry is male dominating. This industry is led by men. But now, when I've almost completed 4 years in this industry, I believe it's my point of view that it depends on how good your skills are. It does not depend on your gender. It depends how much experience, how much knowledge you have. Does not depend on your gender. I mean, still I hear a lot of people tell me, or I've heard from a lot of people as well, that pastry is only for girls. It involves a lot of creativity, decoration, patience. You can't work in a hot kitchen. That's impossible. That's not right. But it's actually not. It's actually not like that. Anybody can do anything only if they want to do that. It's about your choice, your purpose, your perspective. My choice is to become a pastry chef, so I am pursuing this. I'm sure that there are millions of girls who want to be in a hot kitchen, and it's their choice. They want to do it. So I don't believe in this at all, that any industry should be any gender dominating industry. It should be on how much a male or a female wants to give their hard work in. And if they want to do that, they will do that. If they do not wish to, they will not. So even in this industry, I want to be a pastry chef. I will be a pastry chef because I want to be one. And nobody can stop me from doing that.
Well, that's certainly for sure. But tell me something. When you mentioned that it is partially true, or you've heard it, it's hearsay that you've ever had where people have told you this. What is the one thing that you've always kept in mind, or always kept at the top of the head when addressing such situations? Because even today in our institute, in your institute, there are over 100 girls who join every year, and we every day tell them that, listen, it is your determination over anyone's discouragement. So, but what advice would you have for those girls?
There are still, I have actually had a word with you about this before. There are still a lot of people, especially girls, who message me. They tell me that they need advice for their career. They tell me what challenges, they ask me what challenges I had to face. So I've always told them that it is actually on your will. It completely depends on you. Nobody can stop anybody from doing anything they want to do in their life. If you think you're going to excel in something, be it anything in this world, be it you becoming an engineer, a doctor, a pastry chef, or a hot kitchen chef, it really depends only on you. And yes, of course, your parents have to agree to that, until unless you don't want to listen to them. But that's not my advice to anybody. You should definitely listen to your parents. But it absolutely depends upon the person's will. I had faced a lot of challenges from being in this industry, and especially from men. Yes, I have faced a lot of obstacles in my life during my working experience of 4 years, during my training days, be it in college, be it in my personal life. But all I've kept in my mind is that if I'm strong, if my willpower is strong, I'm going to pass through this. It's just the storm. It is going to pass, and I'm going to do better in life. So this is just one small obstacle that has come past me. And yes, it will go. Of course it will go, because life is like a roller coaster. It will never be bad. It will never be good. It will always be a mix of everything. So if there's one thing that is low in your life, of course, something positive is coming for you. So just focus on that.
Super. Ashima, do you have anything to add to
actually,
that? Yeah, no, I was going to call you in for that. Absolutely. Go ahead.
I was just gonna agree to what Yashasvi said, but I feel like to everybody who is entering this industry, I would really like to tell them that you have to be. It's all about passion here. Like, you have to be really, really passionate about what you want to do. About this particular industry needs a lot of passion, because there are going to be endless challenges, endless obstacles that are going to come your way, from starting from long working hours to being, of course, in a very male dominated area. When I was at least 8 years back, when I was training, it was very male dominated, and me being a very shy, soft kind of a girl, I faced a lot of challenges. I don't even remember those things, but it was very difficult. But again, like Yashasvi said, the only thing that kept me going was I wanted to do it. I was very passionate about it. I wanted to gain all the experience. I had the amazing opportunity of, getting into Taj, working for, such a big kitchen. So I didn't want to leave it for anything. And all those little challenges that I got, you just have to tell yourself that they mean nothing. Think about all the experience and all the the techniques the things that you're learning. So you have to be really passionate about being a chef.
Absolutely. And while you mentioned that, Ashima, as soon as I heard you talk about your internship at Taj, remind me, was it Avni that was with you at the internship? Right? All right.
Yes,
So
she
that's
was.
something that
But you have to, we were in different ships
I
all the
didn't say
time.
anything.
We were never together.
Hi, Ram, I didn't say a word. Listen to it at least. I'm going to praise you. Now, this is the part where you say that, I'm a nice person because I'm going to say something nice about you. So, after you came back from your internship and graduated when you did, I called up the same hotel and I spoke to the training manager at that time. Can you imagine what she said? She said, if your students are half as good as what Ashima and Avni were, we'd be happy to have them. So, for whatever you guys did, wherever you were, whether it was the Oberois or wherever you trained at, you all really, really left a mark. And that's beautiful. And I just want to say that to all the students who are listening in today, this is very, very important. What both of you have said and all of you have added on to, keeping the passion alive, keeping that spark alive is literally the only thing that will keep you going through. Whether it's a man in this industry or a woman, challenges, I think, Ishaan, we can agree, are pretty much,
100%.
if not the same, but they are in all forms and sizes.
Absolutely.
It's not that one has it easier than the other. There are different shapes and sizes of them. And if we can be half as true as what we say we are, I think that is all we need to do to sail through any problem at all. Do you have anything to add, Ishaan?
No, I'm in absolute agreement with them, I guess.
You have to be right now. You're outnumbered anyways. You better be in agreement anyways right now.
But honestly, I do agree. I do agree with them. It's a very there has to be a lot of passion involved
There has to be a lot of
being part of
passion.
this industry. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're going to come to the final questions for all three of you. So my first question, I'm going to go back to Ishaan, is that tell us one anecdote, Ishaan, that you remember from the industry. Any one anecdote, whether it was in the internship, be it at the institute. So one anecdote, anything at all.
I remember going through the institute. I remember going for a catering for the Sheraton Saket once. Okay. So they required some extra help for a very important catering, and you had actually given us that opportunity, so I took it up, and that's the first time actually I stood behind a live counter till 3 in the morning, and I actually got to experience what catering is really, and that's maybe somewhere that that told me this is what I want to do, and that's it gave me a glimpse, I can say, of what I want to do, and that's the one thing I really remember. Other than that, it's just the as I said, if you need to know the basics of the industry to actually innovate in it. I feel so this is where I learned the basics, and now it also makes you sound cool when people talk about a hollandaise or this derivative of a sauce, and I'm like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. So it makes you sound cool, but actually, that's where you can innovate when you know the basics. So yeah, these are the things I remember.
And now that you go to a catering, you always thank the person behind the counter twice now, don't you? After you've seen what it's
I'm very, very grateful. Absolutely.
We all have to be, I guess.
All have to be.
It's a tough job.
It's not easy as it looks.
It's a tough job.
Definitely.
No doubt.
Scooping ice cream all day. No.
उसके बाद मन नहीं करता स्विगी से मंगाने का.
True.
All right, Ashima, how about you? One anecdote for us. Anything from your internship, institute?
Okay. Talking about live counters, I had an opportunity to be at a live counter. It was during when we were studying at the institute. We had that opportunity to be a part of Chef Sabi's team for the first F1 that happened. Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, so I was a part of that, and I had to be at the salad counter, at the live salad counter that they had, and it was like I wasn't really expecting anything. It was my first stint as well, but just when they broke for lunch and all those people started pouring in. Suddenly, I look up and there are all these celebrities coming to my counter and wanting a salad because apparently salad is the thing. So for celebrities, and then I'm just looking around, all these people, they want me to make a salad for themselves. That was actually my first brush with celebrities, and then it was I never knew I would be on TV myself one day, and get the opportunity to interact with so many celebrities, and so that's what I was that was my one memory of the training time. But also I would like to add that there's no end. Like you can, if you wish to, being a chef and in meeting a celebrity is a very different, they are different things. But then this, if you determined and if you want something, just give, like, you get it. What I mean to say is you have to be very determined, and you all your dreams are going to come true if you just be on the right track and be passionate about what you're doing.
Beautiful. All right, Yashasvi, over to you. Any anecdotes that you remember from the
There
institute?
are a lot, but coming to one, if you remember when we had Gourmet High Street in
Yes, I remember that.
2015, yes, and Nidhi
You
and I,
came in the paper for that.
yes, in
Your
the
picture was in
sunlight.
the paper for that. Yeah.
Yes. So it was during that only when Nidhi and I, my best friend, of course, we both actually got this opportunity to be at the live fondant counter.
Yeah.
I never had any experience of making anything with fondant. Only just flowers, only carnations. I was trying to make, I was trying. And then there was this, on the second day, I suppose we were there for 2 days. On the second day, there was this little kid who came right in front of me, and she wanted me to make a pizza for her. And I was wondering, of course, I can't say no to her. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try. And then I made a very tiny,
A pizza
yes,
out
out
of
of fondant.
fondant.
Yes, she wanted a pizza.
The weirdest pizza you ever made.
Exactly. So she wanted a pizza out of fondant, and I remember when I gave it to her, she had such a big smile on her face, and that actually made me really happy and proud of myself. I'm like, okay, there are tiny little kids that I can make happy, and it just gave me a kick that this job really makes me happy, no matter for whosoever it is, be it a kid, be it an adult, be it for myself. It is definitely going to make me really happy, and that is, I believe, what is really important. In whatever field you are, the work should make you happy first, and then somebody else. It should not actually work for somebody else, but you should enjoy your work, and then only it is going to last forever. Passion is one thing, but having fun at your work, being happy about doing it from inside, that is going to last longer.
That's absolutely beautifully said. And as for the parents whose kid you give lots and lots of sugar to in a pizza, I feel bad for them because I have a daughter, and if she has a slice of
It was just
fondant
a
pizza,
tiny piece.
I would, just a tiny bit.
Just 2 centimeters long.
2 centimeters, that's fine. As long as you don't do that at the W. No one's going to eat at the W if you give
Of
fondant.
course not.
All right, guys, lovely. All right, so I want like your last words before we end this beautiful session and really exciting sessions we've had. So I'm going to go around your last words for the institute, the students, all the faculty, anything you want to say right before we conclude. So Ishaan, over to you.
So I would just like to tell everyone that, it's a beautiful platform to have right here in Delhi, if you're based here or you want to study in Delhi. And I had a great time. I've learned a lot from there. Actually, I'm surprised after I left, actually, is what I was really surprised on how much I learned. I didn't realize with so much information going in here inside. And other than that, yeah, it's just an amazing opportunity for anybody who'd like to get into this field. And of course, there's a really good founder or owner, I would say.
Chief Operating Officer, you can say it, don't worry.
Chief Operating Officer.
That's lovely. Ladies, please take note of that point. He added.
Yeah. And that's the reason we've been in touch for the past 8 years. And yeah, I'm more than happy to be part of the institute in any way I can.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Ashima, over to you.
I would say that, wanting to become a part of the industry, your initial few steps or the stages are very important. And for me, IICA was the first brush with the industry, and I think everything I am today, I do owe it to those first initial steps that I had at IICA, and the very welcoming, the very family-like feel that I got. I really am going to be grateful for that, and it's a very great platform for any budding aspiring chefs. So I would just want to wish you guys all the best, and I hope you keep pumping out good chefs and making this whole the whole industry a better place.
Thank you so much. And Yashasvi.
There are, of course, going to be a lot of options around the globe now, especially in India, where people are doing this and they want, actually, there are a lot of people who want to choose the right place for themselves. I remember one time when I was very much confused whether I should go for IICA or some other college, but
then you got wisdom. Go on.
yes, and it was by you. I was going to go get into that. It was by you who actually guided me. And I don't know why, since day one, I had that utmost faith in you till now. And that is why I've been in touch and I will always be in touch. That is not why I only tell you that you're my best advisor. You will always be. So if anybody has any doubts, I know you will clear them out in a more practical way for themselves, as per their conditions, as per their thoughts, as per how much they want something or the other, be it a hot kitchen or be it in the hot kitchen or be it in pastry. So I know ISC is the right place. That has been for myself, and I hope it is for a lot of students who come and join. So I really wish everybody the best of luck.
Thank you so much. And for all three of you, we cannot start to tell you how proud we are to have you as alumni. You represent, as I said in the beginning itself, an entire generation of people who dreamt of becoming a chef and have lived their dreams. And you, all three of you, are very, very successful in your respective places. Many more strength to you, much more strength to all of you. And I hope that you keep treading the path forward. I hope that you keep us proud. And most of all, I hope that you keep living your dream. And for all of those who have tuned in and been a great audience throughout this evening and enjoyed this chat as much as I have, remember that all it takes is determination and hard work, just these three of these people have done. And I promise you, success is just around the corner. So Ishaan, Yashasvi, Ashima, thank you so much for being with us on Master Strokes.
Thank you.
Being
Thank
a
you
part of
for having us.
IICA.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. It was great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.